Skipper's View podcast, episode 188 here, brought to you by our proud sponsor, Chinook Seedery. If you're interested in sunflower seeds, go to chinookseedery.com and use the code TheSkippersView in order to get 10% off seeds. Flavors like Parmesan pepper, jalapeno ranch, lemon pepper, dill pickle, smokehouse barbecue, hatch chili, cinnamon toast, original, and others. Again, that's the Skipper's View for 10% off at Chinook Seedery. And we'll jump right into the episode. Tonight we got Ethan and Hagen with us tonight. How we doing, boys?
Doing good.
Love to hear that. Another week of baseball. Guys, it's almost June. I'm so excited on this podcast for the rest of the, this is probably the last time we're going to have to say, like, it's early. I don't even think we can say it's early anymore because these teams are about 60 games in. They're a third of the way done. So, real important part of the season. This is where we start to look at teams and see, like, hey, like, this is like, if pitching's been an issue, it's an issue. If the bat's been an issue, it's an issue. We're a third of the way through. So that being said, let's start with Aaron Judge, because again, he's been someone that we can't talk about enough in the baseball world right now. We'll start with this. So, Hagen, I'm going to turn to you first. BABIP, batting average on balls in play. So Aaron Judge right now is projected to have the highest BABIP in a season since 1901, 124 years. Right now at a 467. The next highest since then has been 423 by Babe Ruth in 1923. Hagen, is this an important stat to track for Judge and what he's doing right now? What do you think about batting average on balls in play?
It's generally not one I really look at with Judge this year. I think it's like just for how high it is in general. I think your first thought, if you saw, no matter who it is, if you see a BABIP that high, you're going to think this is not sustainable. It's going to go down. But at this point, it's Aaron Judge, and it's just kind of like I don't really think it's going to drop. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it stays the same, I guess is the right way to put that, because it's Aaron Judge, and he's doing – I know me and Ethan are very vocal online that he's the best hitter since Barry Bonds, and we don't even really think it's a debate. Like, he's just insane. Like, everything he's doing he's the best at pretty much everything in the league right now. I mean, he's on pace for 14 WAR. I mean, if you just look at the leaderboards for pretty much any offensive statistic, obviously not home runs this year, but just stuff like it, he's going to be the top. Like WAR, BABIP. He's almost, we're talking about him in 400. He's hitting, I believe, 391 at the moment, maybe 400, somewhere around there. His WOBA is above 500. It's really just unfathomable at this point. And we're really watching history and one of the all-time best players at their peak as a hitter in Major League Baseball. You're on mute, Brett.
Sorry. Ethan, I want to hear your take on this. You're our stat king over here with making top 10 lists. Well, are you a big fan of the BABIP statistic? If so, do you think it's a huge deal for Aaron Judge?
I mean, I would say just anything being compared to Babe Ruth is an accomplishment in itself. But I would say Aaron Judge, like, I would say that's probably the last thing that you'd probably look at. And Hagen actually made a really funny comment on one of the leaderboards I made today. And it's like, I think Aaron Judge has been on every single one. The only one where he was not on was a 25 and under leaderboard. The guy is hitting 391 and his OPS is above 1200. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense what he's able to do on a nightly basis. And if you look at average exit velocity, barrels, he's always number one in that term. And just what he's able to do this season, it might be his best season yet. And this is a guy that has the most home runs in a single season in American League history. It's unbelievable to watch on a nightly basis, and especially for you being a Yankees fan, watching it every single night.
Yeah, and honestly, truth be told, like, shame on me. I have not been watching him enough, and you're absolutely right. Like, he is must-see TV right now. A lot of my stuff is just catching up with the highlights here. But thank God we have MLB TV. Dean shares with me, so that's my way of keeping up. And it's been an incredible season for anyone who's new to the game watching Aaron Judge. Oh my goodness, what a time to become, a baseball fan. But he is doing stuff that's unprecedented. He was never supposed to be this good, and he has just been a rocket ship since he's really I guess, what was the term we were saying? last episode, Hagen. He on the ability to walk and hit singles. I guess he's become not recession proof, but you know what I mean? Slump proof. That was the word.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's really something to see. Like I never expected Aaron Judge to be this good. Ever.
I mean, yeah, a slump for Aaron Judge would be like a 930 OPS right now. That's how good. That's how good Aaron Judge is. It's insane.
Can any other player drop their OPS 500 points and it's like, oh my god, he's still so good? Like anybody else, even if Shohei dropped his OPS 500 points, you'd be like, oh shit, Shohei's struggling.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible.
No, but we can talk about Aaron Judge all day, and I wanted to start off with him just because this is the hot corner. But we gotta, something else that's heating up, guys. So Dodgers right now, they are still in first. I don't want to start in doom and gloom. They've had a lot of pitchers on the IL, both in the bullpen and in the rotation. We can't not talk about this. Shohei Ohtani is getting closer to returning to the mound. He was seen earlier this week throwing live bullpen session to live hitters. We'll start with you, Ethan, on this one. Do we think Shohei throws a pitch that in a game before the All-Star break?
I don't know. To be completely honest, I think with the offensive production that you're seeing from him right now, right, it's arguably the best in baseball next to Aaron Judge, who we just talked about, and they've been super cautious with him to begin with. I don't know if that would be the case right now. I mean, we're maybe a month and a half away from that. I wouldn't see the Dodgers kind of ramping him up right now to do that before the All-Star break. But obviously they know a lot about the situation more than us, but I just think they've been way too cautious with him already, and I don't probably see that happening.
Hagen, how about you?
I think there's no way he pitches before the All-Star break. I mean, I think Dave Roberts said before too, where the goal is to have him ready for October because they know they're going to be there in October, and that's when you truly, you don't need Shohei to go out there and throw 80 innings. I know you have 14 pitchers on the injured list, not including Shohei, and the payroll is $102 million of that. Spotcheck put that out there. It's higher than 6 teams' total payrolls this year, just their injured list of pitchers, which doesn't include Shohei. But I mean, even last year, it was like Shohei was supposed to face live batters in the second half of last season for the first time, and then it's just 8 months later, 9 months later now, and he's just doing it for the first time. It was just kind of a weird delay. There was no words about why he never ended up throwing live batters at all. Looked like he was going to throw in the postseason last year eventually, but ended up not. And now they've just been very, very careful with him, and rightfully so too. I mean, he's on the second Tommy John. He's pretty much, if he blows his arm out again, he's just officially going to be a hitter. Because I mean, I don't know if anyone's really done 3 Tommy Johns and had success in baseball at any level, really. So I think there's no way. I would say more towards August, September, maybe even, I think probably September, I'd say.
Oh no, Shohei's only a hitter now. But I think, like I've said it for a while, I don't understand why Shohei and the team have not come out with like, hey, this guy's just become a relief option. Like I don't think there's need to put stress on the arm. And like I know it's not my decision. I know like it's just an opinion, especially for someone who's not even a fan of the team, but it just makes all the sense in the world. If you're gonna put him back there and like let him do this thing, like there's no need to do it to the full extent. No one's ever said you have to be a starter in order to be a pitcher, right? We'll see how that goes. They've had a ton of injuries. They just traded. Did they pull off the trade for Alexis Diaz earlier today? I saw they were like on the doorstep. Okay, so
Yeah,
the Dodgers went out and acquired Alexis Diaz from Cincinnati to address the bullpen situation right now. It's been kind of a shit show, the bullpen. Not in terms of like necessarily performance, but more just like how many guys are not there right now that we thought would be there this offseason. But the last thing, and I think we could talk a while about this tonight, but 60 games in, I want to run through a little exercise with you guys, and we're going to call it buy or sell. So we're going to run through the teams that I thought were the most intriguing who would actually become buyers or sellers. Like, obviously, there's a lot of teams will see this over the deadline. Like, I'm not throwing the White Sox in there because they're clearly a full-out buyer. They have no one to sell besides Luis Robert Jr. And like it's just not even fun talking about them. We're going to throw I guess 8 teams that I think have a real shot of becoming a hardcore buyer or seller at the deadline. And we got to start, Ethan. Boston Red Sox, 27-31. They now have Bregman out for a long time. All the Boston fans seem infuriated with Alex Cora right now and the way he's been managing this ball club. Do you think Boston will be a buyer or seller come the deadline?
I mean, I don't even know how they would be a seller, to be completely honest. I mean, if you look at their record right now and how poorly they've been playing, they should be a lot worse of a baseball team. So if this is a team that gets Alex Bregman back, I know the timetable is still kind of up in the air. It could be as far as a month and a half, 2 months. It could be shorter than a month. We don't really know right now. But this is a team that I think is fully able to rebound. They still have dogs in the rotation. They're getting guys back as the year goes on. And I mean, they have a guy in Roman Anthony who would be top 10 in barrels in Major League Baseball, and he's just chilling in AAA right now, just developing his craft even more. So I think the Boston Red Sox are in a fine position right now. This is a team that I think right now is playing the worst baseball they'll play all year. And I think they'll, even get some guys like, Christian Campbell, who's been struggling, firing on all cylinders and getting back going at the dish. So I'm not worried about the Red Sox. I think that they'll definitely add some guys to the puzzle, especially once we don't really know what Alex Bregman's going to do next year with his contract situation. So I think this is a window that they have to capitalize on.
I thought this one's a little intriguing. Hey, I'm going to point to you for Toronto. Toronto's currently 27-28. They're right in the middle of the AL East division right now. They got pieces like Vlad and Bo Bichette. They got pieces like Gausman, Jeff Hoffman. They got a lot of interesting pieces that they could sell. Obviously, no one's going to pick up that Santander deal right now. But what do you think about Toronto? Do you think they're going to be buyers or sellers come the deadline?
I know Ross Atkins is on the last year of his deal, but if he doesn't sell, I'm going to be actually furious because do you really believe the Toronto Blue Jays are going to do anything in this postseason? No, they're not going to do shit. Like, I'm sorry, they're not a good team. I'm sorry, Blue Jays fans, but you should go sell. Bo Bichette, he's not going to come back. Go get what you can out of him. I know he's struggled a little bit and he's down close to a league average hitter, slow down a little bit. You can get something out of him too. You'll have Bassett be able to trade. He's been great this year. I know he's only has an 8-team trade clause right now, so 22 teams you could trade him to, or 21, sorry. So you go out there and trade a guy like him. You could get you a good return there too. You got guys like Chad Green is going to be a free agent, and Eric Lauer, even if Spencer Turnbull or Jose Urania, if you could just get anything for those guys, or even just if you want to keep them for inning eaters, I don't know. Teams are going to need innings eaters out there, and then I just don't see why they just wouldn't sell. I mean, I just don't. I'm kind of a Toronto hater, if you couldn't tell, but you should sell. I mean, your farm system isn't great. You're not really. What signings are you going to make in the next 2 off seasons to really make you a true contender? I don't really know. I think you got to sell.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Toronto and Minnesota, they just piss me off. And like for no reason. It's not like they're like notorious like Yankee Clippers out here and like taking down the Yankees in playoff series here. But I just can't stand them. I feel like it's because they constantly like try to make it seem like they're competitive, and it's like you're not though. You're not competitive, and you don't make the right moves in order to be competitive. But we'll.
All right, real quick to another piece they could do that I didn't mention is Max Scherzer. He could also be one too. I know he hasn't. I think he's pitched 1 game this year. Depending how he looks, I mean, you could trade him. Granted, he's got a full no trade on this deal, so you have to accept it. But I think at this day and age, if a contender is going to go buy Max Scherzer, I think he would accept that.
I agree. I tend to agree. Orioles, back to you, Ethan. Buyer or seller?
I don't even know at this point. I know we talked about it being like, I think past the point. I mean, you could still say I would say early-ish. You can't say it's early on in the season. I think we're kind of seeing teams kind of find their grounding. I don't see anything from them this year. The rotation is so abysmal. I understand Bradish is gonna come back, I think, at some point. Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin. I don't know about Dean Kramer. It might be until next year, but I don't see it right now. I think you could even get value for a guy like maybe even Cedric Mullins at this point with Enrique Bradfield Jr. knocking on the door. I just don't see them contending this year. I mean, just last week they had the worst record in baseball next to the White Sox. So I think it's going to be really even hard in their own division with a team like the Blue Jays, who are still very competitive. The Rays have been playing great baseball over the last week and a half, and I think the Boston Red Sox are obviously a good team, just playing very poorly, and they'll get reinforcements back. And the New York Yankees are the New York Yankees, so I don't see them adding guys really at all right now. I think you analyze what you have in house. You try and land some of those big free agents in next year's offseason free agent class, and put a very good ball club on the field next year and see what you can get for the guys. I mean, even the guy like maybe Ryan O'Hearn, see maybe what value you can get out of a guy like that.
Okay, I'll put him down in a standstill dash seller for you. Hagen, team I just mentioned who I hate. You get both teams. The Minnesota Twins, currently 30 and 25. They sit in the middle of the AL Central behind Detroit and Cleveland at this point. They're 6 games back, tied with Cleveland. What do you think Minnesota is going to do this year?
I think this is the team out of all the ones you have listed that could drastically change their stance quickly, just because we just know the Twins, Buxton, Correa, and Lewis could just get hurt tomorrow, and you're not really too surprised, and it just changes their whole outlook of their season. But I think they'll ultimately be buyers, but I don't think they're going to – I think they're going to be kind of soft buyers. I mean, last year they were first in the division, and they did – Trevor Richards was their move, who was DFA'd within 3 weeks, I believe. So there's not much trust in the front office to really go out there and add talent to this team when every team could use some bullpen help down the road, and they could obviously use a bat or two. But I think they're going to be a team that does one of these additions where you pick up a Steven Matz or like that, where it's nothing sexy and it's just kind of a body in there to eat innings, or just kind of an average guy in there.
Ethan, Royals.
I'm definitely not a seller. I think this Royals team is very good, and they have arguably the best prospect right now in baseball, Jack Caglione, who is fucking obliterating the baseball in AAA. I think this is a guy that right now, the only thing that he really needs to prove it right now is getting to the major league level. He's that good. I think just adding him eventually in the season is a move in itself. And you could maybe address some of the outfield concerns and maybe grab a bullpen arm. The rotation has been honestly pretty good. And there are guys that are coming back as the year goes on, but look for them to maybe address some of the outfielders, maybe grab a bullpen arm, and Jack Caglione's definitely making his way to the show. He's been arguably one of the best hitters in minor league baseball to start the year. He's been unbelievable.
Wouldn't you love if like the Royals, who clearly need outfield help and power in the lineup, somehow be able to like buy the White Sox, Luis Robert Jr. cheap? I would love to see Luis Robert Jr. go to Kansas City. I think that's a guy who definitely needs a new face. New place to play and call home. I would love to see Robert Jr. in Kansas City. I think Kansas City's super intriguing. I think they've, with this pitching development over the last 2 years, their pitching's been awesome. Random guys stepping up. It'd be really cool to see Robert Jr. down in Kansas City. And I think that him, Bobby Witt Jr., and Pasquantino and Caglione, once he finally gets the call, you can make a really intriguing lineup. I really do. So we'll see. I think they are going to be soft buyers. I agree with you, Ethan. A couple more teams here. Let's go to the Atlanta Braves. To you, Hagen.
They got to be buyers here. I know they're a little under 500 right now and struggling, but I mean, you got Strider back now. You got Acuna back now. This is the time where they're going to start. I believe they have their top 3 or 4 teams in the last 30, 35 days in baseball, which is kind of surprising. But, obviously they could use some bullpen help. I think they will end up getting a reliever up there. And I think, too, you have Nick Allen at shortstop and Alex Verdugo in left field. I mean, I know Nick Allen's doing good defensively, but you're pretty much just throwing away the bat offensively, saying we're not going to take any offense here. We're just going to play defense. I think you could try to find a very cheap shortstop that could give you, even if it's a 90 to 95 WRC plus, just there to help add a little bit of offense too. Or even with the Verdugo, you want to play a platoon game and get just for example, like a Randall Grichuk, someone that can crush lefties very well, so you can platoon the left field better instead of just having just Stuart Fairchild out there and stuff like that. So I think they're going to be, and no offense to Stuart Fairchild, I just think the Braves could fix their offense a little bit. But with that being said, I mean, they're still going to have Profar coming back eventually. You're just not going to have him in the postseason, so that's something to take into account as well.
Well said. I agree. They have to be buyers. Atlanta. There's no reason with the roster they have right now that they can't go out and buy. They even have the room to spend a little bit in case they decide to pivot from the main strategy, which has been extending these young guys to deals where they're getting paid, but they're not getting paid Otani or Soto money. Cardinals to you, Ethan. That's a tough one. I agree. That's a tough one.
It's tough because what did they do this offseason? Practically nothing.
Phil Maton.
Shout out Rays legend and Mets legend Phil Maton last year.
Never forget.
It's tough because I like their young core. I still believe in Jordan Walker. I understand it's been a very short stint of success at the MLB level. I think the talent is still there. He's still extremely young. I mean, a lot of the, guys his age are sitting in AAA or sometimes even AA. So I think he's still young relatively to his MLB experience. I want to say yes a little bit, only because last year they should have been sellers and they didn't do it. So I think with what we've seen, that it was an 8 or 9 game winning streak. Mason Wynn has looked unbelievable. Lars Nootbaar has been picking it up. Ivan Herrera came back off the IL. He's been fantastic too. So it's the core is definitely still there, and Arenado is still being Arenado. Sonny Gray is still there. If they could add an arm or two possibly to see if they can squeak something out, but I don't see them being hard sellers at all, because last year they should have been and they didn't. And I think they've definitely had more success and they've surprised, I would say, a lot of people. I'd say probably me, Hagen, and Brett with how well they've been this year. I think a lot of people didn't have them as well as they are right now. So I can see them definitely adding, an innings eater and maybe a guy to the bullpen and see how the young core does the rest of the year.
Yeah, I've been giving you all the hard ones. Diamondbacks, last one to you, Hagen. What do you think about the Snakes?
They're going to be buyers, but to me, it's just to what extent, because I just think I don't really view the Diamondbacks as a team that would go out there and make a huge splash, get one of the biggest guys at the deadline. At least historically, that's how I don't view them. But I feel like just in this NL West now, we just see teams that are just, you're trying to compete with the Dodgers and you're trying to do these. So I could see Mike Hayden kind of just pulling something out of his ass, even if he has to trade away a top prospect and get a guy who even has a couple of years of control left. Maybe it's a Luis Robert. I guess actually, I don't know if that's the outfield, but just someone good like that just you wouldn't expect at all, just because the Diamondbacks are already such a great team too. And I just think maybe a bullpen arm, just like every other team, but
definitely a bullpen arm. Their bullpen has been brutal the last week and a half.
Yeah, maybe even a couple, but I think they're buyers at just to what extent. I'm just kind of not sure on.
Yeah, I think it really depends. They have the pieces between Corbin Carroll, Suarez, Gallen, Burns. They have some intriguing pieces, right? And it really depends how the division, I think, is playing out, about how aggressive they're going to be. We will jump, though, a few just news and notes between the divisions. So I will share the standings as we roll through this on the screen, but didn't really have that much for the AL East, actually, which is weird for normally what we do here. Yankees are. What's up?
Rays have been hot, I'll tell you
The
that.
Rays have been hot. I'll actually, cook on the Rays if you want for a minute or two, Ethan. I'll let you cook on them because, everyone knows Boston's been ailing. Toronto's kind of just a fraudulent ball team. Baltimore's been really bad, and the Yankees been playing Yankee baseball.
They're kicking ass right now.
Yeah, their bats are electric right now.
I mean, yeah, the junior Caminero worked with his hitting coach from the DR, and he's lowered his hands. Swing looks a lot better. Chandler Simpson has been unbelievable, and the arms are starting to get strikeouts. So I'm definitely very confident. And Hassan Kim is playing some rehab games in AAA. He'll be back, so this team is capable of playing a lot better baseball than they even are right now.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I'm like, besides the Mariners, I feel like the Rays are my second crush team that I like always love watching the Rays play good, which is crazy because they're in the division. But how can you not respect a team that just develops and reloads with like in-house talent? And it's always like, yeah, there's the stigma about how they blow out a lot of elbows at pitchers, but at the same time, they develop pitching like it's nobody's business. And I'm all over Tampa Bay pitching. Um, we'll jump to the Central. Tigers are still 17 games above 500, still in command there, and the Guardians and Twins trail them both 6 games back. Kansas City's on their tail 7, and the White Sox stink. Don't have much going on. By the way, did you mention about the whole Kyle Gibson signing? By the way, Ethan.
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. I understand the results have been really bad this year, but like, there's definitely something that we see in him, and this is a guy that still at times suppresses hard contact. And at the end of the day, I mean, dude, this is a veteran arm. Like, he still knows how to pitch to an extent, and who better to trust than arguably the best organization in terms of pitching development. So I think it's definitely a solid move that potentially, if he can rebound a little bit, it could add some depth to the rotation and even maybe speed up some of these guys in AAA like a Joe Boyle.
Yeah. And watch Kyle Gibson like shove for the rest of the year now that he's in Tampa. We'll jump to the West. Mariners. I love what I'm seeing that they're still operating at a first place level capacity right now, and they're definitely not even at full I guess full strength, we'll call it. We Julio has not been Julio Rodriguez still yet. He's been solid, but he hasn't been like what we expect out of him. You've had some guys like Jorge Polanco overachieve a little bit this season so far. He continues to hit, and we'll see how the Mariners' rotation, quite honestly, has been a little banged up and not performing to its top capability. The Astros, they get Lance McCullers back, and I think he's now at his 5th start. Just threw 12 strikeouts. It was his longest outing since 2022. He did this in 6 innings against the Athletics. So I know they lost Ronel Blanco this week to Tommy John. So between McCullers, Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, they're going to get Spencer Arrighetti back here soon. I could see the Astros actually kind of lingering around and maybe even take the division if things go well. I know that's crazy to say for a team that just traded away Kyle Tucker this offseason, but Altuve's been bad, and I don't think he's going to be as bad as he has been. They're going to get Jordan Alvarez back, and it's going to be a little interesting, the division. Do you guys have any strong takes on the West right now? Anything that you're seeing that maybe I'm not?
I think at this point it might even be the Astros division to lose. I understand the Mariners have been pretty solid, but I will say to Julio Rodriguez's point, he's been on fire the last like 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
Jorge Polanco has taken almost a nosedive from his hot start. So it's going to be tough. I just trust Houston's ability with the winning success that they've had over the last 6 years, and some of those arms returning. I understand Seattle's kind of in the same boat with that. But Jordan Alvarez is going to get obviously going when he's back. Jose Altuve is still a dog. Isak Paredes has been the best offensive player on the team. Christian Walker hasn't even gotten going. So in their defense as well, they have a lot of guys that aren't even near the level that they're capable of. And they've been playing some great baseball over the last several weeks. And the only really struggle they had was a little bit against us at Steinbrenner. So I think the Astros are more than able to leapfrog the Mariners right now.
Yeah. The Angels, they get Mike Trout back tomorrow, which is awesome. They also just signed Oscar Colas. For those who don't know who Oscar Colas is, he was at one point named the Cuban Otani because he was able to pitch and hit at the same time. This is intriguing. guys like Tim Anderson, Juan Moncada, and Jake Eater, they all did the White Sox to the Angels kind of route. The Angels seem to keep on collecting guys from the White Sox who don't pan out. It's interesting to see this trend go on, but I was a big Oscar Colas dynasty buyer. I had him in a couple leagues and I've had to drop him, but I'm, hoping all the best for him. It seems like he's got a lot of talent. He just didn't put it all together. That being said, that's kind of it for the American League. I will keep scrolling. We'll jump to the National League East. So, Hagan, I'm going to let you start with the NL East. Your Mets, they're not in first place anymore. They're 2.5 games back behind Philly. What are your any big thoughts on the NL East and its developments right now?
Obviously the Mets are skidding a little bit here. Obviously, they won a series against the Dodgers, which was you beat a team like that and you feel good about it. But to be honest, both teams are kind of just playing meh baseball right now, especially running scoring position. The Mets are just, I think, they're the third worst team in all of baseball running scoring position. Where the way I view that more optimistically is they're a top five team record wise, whatever they are, and they're one of the worst teams and getting guys in when you ultimately have guys in position to. Juan Soto, he's down to about he's hitting like 220 now, so he's really struggling. It's just kind of one of those things where you just wonder how long this is really going to go for. I know he's hit shit out of the ball still, but it just when the results start to show up. We're seeing a little bit of regression with the pitching, but I'm not too worried now. I mean, they just had a series against the White Sox. They're going to play the Rockies now. Then they got the Dodgers again and the Rockies again after that. So I think it's kind of a reset stretch for them. And then I'm not too worried about the Mets. They're just kind of playing those stretches that you kind of go through the course of the season.
Yeah. Marlins, they did sign, they called up Victor Mesa Jr. to make his MLB debut. So center fielder Derek Hill went back on the 10-day IL for a sprained left wrist. So this is something that he re-aggravated because he was dealing with this last month. But it's just something of note with the Marlins this week. We'll jump to the Central. So Milwaukee, I don't know if you guys have caught wind of this little cat we call Logan Henderson, but he's been a dog for Milwaukee every time keeps getting brought up to the starting rotation. They optioned him back to AAA. They activated DL Hall for the 60-day IL. He's been out with a strained lat. Henderson, though, 1.71 ERA in 4 starts. Brew Crew, they're not in need right now of his services with the 5th starter, which is crazy based off the performance he's given. We shall see what it goes on there. I did see this week Christian Yelich did hit his first career grand slam, which is kind of like not first career grand slam, first career walk-off homer, and it was a grand slam. Kind of hard to believe in 13 seasons that's his first walk-off, but when you play for the Marlins and for a while that might happen. You don't get all the opportunities to walk off.
Real quick, just on the Logan Henderson thing.
Yeah.
You only you get option guys. You have 5 times you can option a guy in this full season. I think Logan Henderson's made 3 starts this year, and then he's been optioned every single one. So 2 left if they follow this pace. So just something to work on. I mean, he's probably eventually, I would think, would finish the season with the team for how good he's been. But only 2 more options available once he gets called back up.
He's made 4 starts.
4.
And each of them, he's gone 5 or more innings. He's had 6 or more strikeouts in all of them. He has 3 wins and 1 quality start among those 4. Dude, he's a dog. He's really good. But we'll see. Yeah, no, that's a good call out. I appreciate that. And then finally, we'll jump to the NL West here. Dodgers are in the lead right now. San Diego and the Giants are still right on their heels. Diamondbacks are kind of falling a little bit behind, 7 games back, and the Rockies I shouldn't even brought up their name, honestly. They've been that bad. Anything big from you, Ethan, on the NL West right now? Or is this kind of just that point of the season where we're expecting these teams to play out as we had thought?
Yeah, I would just say I think the Diamondbacks are just playing. I mean, I would say just a trend with some of these teams, like maybe the worst baseball they'll play all year. I mean, this was the best offense in Major League Baseball last year, and I think it's just the bullpen concern at this point. Like, right, this team just gave up an 8 spot to the Pittsburgh Pirates. This team just set a Major League record of having the most consecutive games in MLB history without scoring 4 runs. So I think they're more than able to bounce back. And I know we were just doing buying and selling and seeing what teams are going to do at the deadline. If this team adds, I would say even 1 or 2 bullpen arms to already, I mean, Jalen Beeks has been decent. You get Justin Martinez back. Like, there's definitely guys to work with. Ryan Thompson definitely still has like a very weird delivery, so he can be effective. If they can add a few guys, this team is definitely capable of playing a lot better baseball.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that. I just had someone call me. Okay.
Can I real quick mention about the Rockies? Can we talk about how their run differential is negative 175? That is 74 more than the White Sox, or sorry, the A's for second worst run differential in all of baseball. 74 run.
I didn't notice the A's were 1-9 in their last 10.
They've been
hidden that bad. Yeah, that's God, dude. That's not good. And I know what Kurtz just got hurt, so
Soderstrom's cooled down a bit. And their defense is just, I think they're the worst defensive team in baseball too. Like, I think it was, I know Aram Lane brought this up, it was probably 2 weeks ago. It was like their leader in defensive run saves was Luis Severino.
That's so brutal. That's so brutal. Dude, Colorado's bad.
Yeah, I didn't know the run differential was that bad. Well, I think it was, obviously they're on pace for the worst record in MLB history. And I think the run differential, I think it's like 100 more than the worst in MLB. It's like it's just a historically bad team. And honestly, at this rate, it might be by like a large margin. I mean, they've been brutal, dude. It sucks.
Dude, it's just like, we talk about how like the Angels, like a lot of times, I know they spent on a big win streak, but they're 4 games below 500 right now. We talk about how bad the Angels are. Dude, the Rockies have 9 wins. Like, Brett had it on the agenda the other day. They're on pace for like 25 or 26 wins. They put 162 games. I don't care what point of the season is. You should not be on pace for 26 wins.
Yeah, I would say there's probably 5 AAA teams that might have a better ball club than the Rockies. And honestly, like, I don't even think it's disrespectful. I think Worcester, when all the big 3 kind of got, or I would say the big 2 were down there. I would say them. I'd say probably the Durham Bulls at this point. I mean, 9 wins right now is comical. I think the Yankees had that within the first 2 weeks. Like, it's insane that's happening.
I mean, dude, the Angels just had 9 wins in the last 2 weeks.
I don't know. I mean, I know we kind of clowned on the White Sox last year, but like, that's only going to last a year. And at this rate, not even a year, because the Rockies are, I would say, even more of a laughingstock than the White Sox were last year. I mean, they literally won a game and then fired their manager the day after. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I saw a tweet today, and shout out Peterson is king for this one, but it was, I mean, we're 55 games into the season, and it was like breaking news that the Colorado Rockies can no longer break the single season record for wins. I'm like, we're a third of the way through the season, and they already cannot beat the record for wins. Like, I know that's a stupid stat, but like, that shows how bad they are.
I was just going to ask too.
They couldn't win every single game the rest of the season, and they still wouldn't break the record for wins in a season.
When do you think they'll be officially eliminated from the playoffs? Do you think quickest ever?
It has to be, right? Especially with that division.
It might be in like 3 weeks at this rate.
Before the All-Star break?
If the Dodgers were healthy, they'd be like eliminated in like 2-3 weeks, maybe, which is fucking absurd to think about. Like it's July 15th and you're eliminated from the playoffs.
They could win every day for the next month and still be like 15 games under 500.
I will say this, as we transition off the Rockies, there was a dude in mine and Dean's keeper league who sold his entire team starting on May 1st. He gave up on May 1st, which was such a quitter's mentality. But I'm upset with him. But like, even the Rockies held out past May 1st to call it quits in the season, which is crazy. We got to talk about some guys who got banged up this week. Bryce Harper, he left a game against Atlanta after being hit by a pitch against Spencer Strider. It was on his right elbow. X-rays were negative. I don't know if he's back yet. I think they said he was going to be out for a couple days. People were pissed about this because I believe it was the elbow he had surgery on, correct? His right elbow. Not fun stuff. Obviously, Strider's come back from the IL himself. He's rusty. I don't think this was at all intentional, but people seem to be annoyed about it. Texas, Nathan Eovaldi, he was pulled from a start after just 2 innings earlier this week. This was right triceps fatigue. It was considered precautionary. So we'll see how Eovaldi's situation pans out. Tigers, they placed Matt Vierling on the 10-day IL with right shoulder inflammation. It's just, the shoulder issues seem to be going on for a long time. He could miss extended period amount of time. He was just reinstated last week due to this injury. We'll see how that pans out. I think Parker Meadows is soon to return as well. So that's something good for Detroit. Parker Meadows is supposed to have a big season for them. Bad for Mr. Vierling, though. One thing, a note I saw this week, just MLB miscellaneous. Freddie Freeman and wife Chelsea, they're donating $1 million to the Children's Hospital of Orange County. It's a very important, spot for them and their family, as this is where their son Maximus was treated last year. When he, I guess developed, I don't know even how to pronounce the name of the sickness. Do you guys know how to pronounce this? Guillain-Barré neurological syndrome. Am I saying that right?
I have no clue, honestly.
It's a rare disorder. It's really messed up. If you're interested, go into it. This is not a medical show. This is a baseball show, so I'm not even going to try to explain the what goes into that. But it was a very serious situation. Still is. Seems very serious at this time, but seems like he's going to be make a full recovery. And obviously the Freemans are showing their gratitude to the hospital, so that's awesome to see.
Do you think Freddie Freeman is the nicest player in baseball?
Dude,
I think without a doubt.
I fell in love with him a few years ago when he was trick-or-treating in the Atlanta neighborhood.
Yep.
And he pulled over that little kid. He's like, "You know whose jersey that is?" And he's like kind of looked at him. He's like, "You want your photo taken with me?" And like it was just like, yes, like you're a star and you approach this kid like who's wearing your jersey rather than like, hiding away like, oh, I get so much attention. I don't want it. So Freddie Freeman's the man. I'll never root against Freddie. Like that home run in the World Series was so hard for me to like be mad at. I was like, God damn it, Freddie Freeman, you're the man.
I mean, he's the nicest guy, and he's like he does everything right too. I mean, he's had a lot of tough things in his life happen to where he's just might be the most easy player to root for in baseball.
Freddie Freeman right now is having the most underrated season in baseball. No one is fucking talking about Freddie Freeman, and I believe as of a few days ago, he was third in OPS behind his teammate Shohei Ohtani. It is incredible what this guy does every single season on both ends of the baseball, and also having probably the best heart in story in Major League Baseball. Freddie Freeman is a guy that you want around your team as just a franchise player. Like you can't ask for more of a player than you can than Freddie Freeman. He's an unbelievable dude and an unbelievable player.
To your Ethan, good call out. He's now second, right in front of Ohtani in OPS.
Dude, it's insane. No one's talking.
Yeah, no one's talking
about Will Smith. Yeah. Look at the Dodgers. They got 3 guys in the top 5 in OPS right now. No one's even mentioning Will Smith. I think Will had a first tweet on Will Smith this season. I saw it like yesterday. Will's a big Will Smith guy, if you guys didn't know that. But that is absurd, the Dodgers lineup right there. And Freeman, you're spot on. 2.2 WAR. No one's and his on base is almost 43% clip right now.
No one's talking about it, dude. Like I haven't seen like one major post about Freddie Freeman this year. I really have not. Considering I understand Judge is Judge, Ohtani's been great. I mean, dude, look at fucking Ryan O'Hearn. Ryan O'Hearn has been unbelievable for the Orioles. Dude, I have not seen people talking about how good of a season Freddie Freeman is having.
Sorry, Hagen, you go.
So you said 2.2 WAR. That's B WAR they have listed there. F WAR, it's 2.5. It's even higher.
Look at if you look at Ohtani, Judge, and Freeman right now, sure, like Ohtani and Judge are doing whatever. Freeman's got 20 walks to 36 strikeouts. Judge almost has 20 more strikeouts than Freeman. and Otani's got 62 strikeouts. So it's going to be at the point soon where Otani has double the amount of strikeouts as Freeman if Freeman continues this rate. Like
Yeah. Also, shout out all the doubters in Jacob Wilson's power, casually top 20 in OPS with more walks than strikeouts right now.
Just 1.08 K to BB ratio right now.
Unbelievable, dude. Yeah, I had to throw in Freeman, like, for what he's done for the game and for the Braves organization, now for the Dodgers winning a world championship and all the off the field efforts. Like, he doesn't get talked about enough, dude. Like, Freddie Freeman, with how good of a person he is, should be talked about as much as Aaron Judge, for Shohei Ohtani, all these guys, because he's a superstar in his own right, and what he does for the game of baseball in terms of growing it and giving back to the community is really second to none at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll transition off Freddie Freeman. Let's go into the war draft because Hagen put some time and effort into updating this one. So, Hagen, take us away. Let's start talking about the draft as I pull up our colorful scoreboard.
Yeah, so Dean's gonna keep the first place spot this week, going from 12.8 up to 14.2. Brett, you're staying there in second at 13.6. Sam Fosberg making a jump from 8.3 to 12.1, taking third place. Lewis staying the same at 11.4. Toby making a jump of 3.5 up to 10.8 overall. I'm up there at sixth place at 9.9. Will right behind me, 9.4. Ethan right on his heels, 9.3. James right on his heels at 9.2. Jeb making a jump from second worst to 10th to 7.8 F4. Nick's up to 7.5 minus 0.4 WAR this last week and a half. Mikey down 0.1 WAR to 7.2. Grant up a full WAR and a half to 6.7. Ben out of last place to 6.6. And Sam Horvath is our new last place for the WAR standings. Damn. With 5.9.
Lane Thomas is a negative 0.9 WAR for Sam.
Dude, so Lane Thomas has been so bad this year, and I legitimately thought when they swung the trade last year, he would have been a dog like he kind of was with the Nats. He's been fucking god awful, dude. It sucks to really say.
Yeah, that does.
He was hurt this year for a bit too, right?
Yeah, he was. Also, I think I had 6 guys on the IL on my WAR team.
Now you get
got activated a little while ago. Josh Lowe got activated a little while ago. Colin Cowser's hurt. Jazz Chisholm's hurt. Mike Trout, bro.
Trout's coming back. Chisholm's coming back here soon, probably.
I need Byron Buxton back. Junior Caminaro's on my team. He just hit a home run earlier, Ethan. I don't know if you saw that.
Oppo home run.
Okay, you did see it.
Oh, come on, bro. We're back, bro. I'm telling you, we're back, bro.
We're back. We are back. I love that.
You got to look at real quick. Pull up Dean's team on that. His first 3, it's absurd. He had entering. He had 11 WAR or 10 WAR.
Who on Sam's team? He jumped 4 WAR in a week.
He's got Judge on his team, but
dude, Sam last year was carried by 3 batters. He got Otani late and he crushed us. Dean's being carried by Cal Big Dumper Raleigh over here. But Tyler's team's got Shohei, Cal.
Holy shit.
Devers has 2 WAR. Abrams, Holiday. Damn. Willier Abreu was a great last round pick.
I think the best last round pick has to be Geraldo Perdomo by Toby. I think it was 2.7 F where he's at.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually incredible. I would say even too, Mikey getting Victor Scott, that's a really good last round pick too.
You know, it's so funny. Jeb was probably in his little home. He's like, dude, guys, I fleeced him. I got Anthony Santander in the 10th. And oh, God.
Perdomo, though. Arcia got picked up by the Rockies. So what a couple of days it's been for Jeb.
Josh Young has 1.4 WAR?
Dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't heard his name at all this year. He's got 1.4 WAR. Damn.
He's been a beast, dude.
Where have I been? But yeah, this draft is I love this draft where you don't have to do anything yet. It's fun to watch teams like either crumble or ascend to the top. Um, but we'll jump. We got a few more things we got to hammer out before we hop off. Eye popping stat of the week. I saw this. I think Bleacher Report put this out. Sorry if I'm wrong on that one, but the Rockies have now lost 21 consecutive series dating back to last year. This is the longest streak in MLB history. This is following a 4-3 loss to the Cubs on Tuesday night. So the next series the Rockies win will be the first series they've won in 22 series if they can win the next series. It's kind of crazy, and like I don't think it's going to get any better because as I look at their schedule, they're playing at New York this week for the Mets, and then after the Mets, like there's no one that looks good for the Rockies to play, but after the Mets, they're playing at Miami. Then they're going back for 3 more games at New York to play the Mets, then the Giants, then at Atlanta, then at Washington. There's just not a lot of wins I see on the schedule for them. So this trend
I will say though, Jordan Beck for them has been unbelievable, dude. Like as far as much as they are a very, very poorly ran organization right now, they've definitely had a few guys. Like Hunter Goodman's been pretty good. Jordan Beck's been pretty good. Marquez, the last 3 starts has actually been pretty solid too, which is funny enough to even say. I think 2 of those outings were in cores. So as much as there's a lot of negatives to them, there's definitely still some bright spots.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're saying just we look at the forward, just the series on doesn't look like anyone that really win. The Nationals is probably the worst team they're going to play here in the next month. I got one series marked that I think they're gonna end the streak on. July 4th to 6th, the Chicago White Sox at home.
I'll be going to those games.
That might be one of the most electric series of the year. White Sox,
I mean,
4th of July.
What do you think the over under totals will be for runs?
Oh man. Dude, in Colorado too, it might be 12. Dude, I don't know.
11 and a half.
Dude, I don't know. Is it going to be bad pitching or bad hitting? What is it? What's going to be the combined record at that point?
Do you think the Rockies have more than 12 wins in 2 weeks? Really think about that one. They're at 9. We're almost 2 months into the year. Do you think that they are, let's say, 13 in 2 weeks?
Do they think they win 4 more games in the next 2 weeks? And between now and we'll say June 14th, they're playing the Braves, the Giants, the Mets twice, and the Marlins. Unless they sweep Miami, I don't see it. We're 2 or 3 against Miami. I don't see it happening.
I think you could put that line back a full another week, and I would probably say under. Dude, I just.
Oh my god!
When you watch the Rockies, because they have some young, exciting pieces on their team, but they're just I hate to say they're just an awful team, man. I know everyone knows that they have 9 wins, but
God.
They're so bad.
Seriously, I don't think it's a bad statement to say that there might be AAA teams that would put together 10 wins at this point. I don't even think that would be an unfair thing to say.
Yeah, and to close out, it seems only appropriate that we close out the episode on the same note we started off with. Aaron Judge. Hagen, did you put this fact? All right, let's hear this factoid.
Yeah, so looking at it, Aaron Judge through 55 games, he has a 4.7 F4 to this point, on pace for 13.9. Only 19 players in all of last season had higher than Aaron Judge's F4 currently.
That's absurd.
That's stupid.
That means only 19 guys finished their season as good as what Aaron Judge has done in a third of their season.
So if the WAR total stayed the same, basically Aaron Judge, the easy way to put it is if he didn't play another game, if he got hurt and missed the entire season, he'd still be a top 20 player in baseball. That's.
I don't even the name of this episode. Should it be Colorado Rockies and Aaron Judge are polar opposites? Because we talked so much about Judge and the Rockies this episode. But I don't know. They're just we picked on the Rockies a lot, and Aaron Judge is God, a baseball god, I should say. Well, I think that's it for me, unless you guys got anything else you want to bring up before we hop off tonight.
I mean, Junior Caminero has been the hottest hitter on the planet for the last week. I can't say enough. ecstatic.
That cracked me up the first time when I was like, "Who's your favorite Tampa Bay Ray player of all time?" And you're like, "Longoria, Caminero."
He's
It was like a month and a half into his career. You're like, "Longoria,
I'm telling you, bro,
Caminero."
he's gonna be fucking insane, dude. Like I said it 2 weeks ago. We aren't even close to like the best we've seen, dude. And he's 21. There's most guys are in Double A at 21 years old. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's younger than Jason Dominguez, and he's far better right now. So, Hagen, anything else from you?
I just gotta say, just the Boston Red Sox, please move off with Trevor Story and just do what like the Tigers did last year. I mean, the Tigers, they're I would say a middle market to a higher end of the middle market team where they could accept that Javier Baez was hurting their team, playing him at shortstop every day, and they accept that he was a bench bat at least last year. Boston, stop moving your young guys around. Put Trevor Story as a bench bat utility. Move him around because he's awful right now. He offensively and defensively he sucks. He has the second worst WRC plus in all of baseball in the month of May. Granted, Christian Campbell is the worst and the only one with a negative WRC plus, but let Meyer and Campbell go up the middle or Campbell, wherever you're going to put him, and then call up Roman. Just move off the Story, please. Let the young guys play.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. With that, we will conclude the episode. Thank you all for listening. You stuck with us this entire time. Bye.